Great. So we have a good number of attendees. So I think we're going to jump right in. So hello and a big welcome to the last office hours of 2020. I'm Kaylin Neal. I am the Channel Marketing Programs Manager. I have a few of my colleagues on the call today, Krisha, Austin, and Judith, who I'm sure you guys know quite well. And we're also really excited to have a number of our partners on this call. So as you know, this session is around Partner Spotlight. So we're highlighting 3 of our partners who are going to be sharing some of their tips and best practices and success stories behind marketing Atlassian Cloud to their customers. A few housekeeping notes. This is being recorded, and you're going to get the recording in a follow-up email tomorrow. We do have a few polls throughout the session, and it would be much appreciated if you'd answer those as they pop up. And then finally, there is a Q&A session at the end. So if you have any burning questions for your peers, please use the Q&A function available in Zoom, and we'll be sure to get to those. And it's worth reminding partners to download and read the Journey to Cloud Marketing Guide, which is available in the Partner Marketing Center. It's packed with vital information about the kinds of customers to target with cloud campaigns, different personas involved in a decision to migrate to cloud, and you can learn about which assets and campaigns are available for you to leverage in the Partner Marketing Center. Before introducing our first partner, which is going to be Dazer, I'm just going to launch this first poll. So please do answer that. So it's about which deployment does your sales team lead with most often? Okay, getting quite a few answers in. So, yep, Cloud Standard and Server are both up there. And I'm just going to give this 5 more seconds. Great, thanks everybody. And now let's jump into it. So our first presentation is from Guillermo, the CEO and founder of Dazer, a platinum solution partner and gold marketplace partner, and they're based in Madrid, Spain. They were founded in 1998 and have been an Atlassian partner since 2007. They hold really brilliant enterprise days and have gone all in on cloud, wasting no time going to market with really creative campaigns and events, focusing sharply on the concerns and needs of their customers. And Guillermo is at the center of these events, so I'm really happy that he's able to join the call today and share some of their marketing successes with all of you. So I'm going to hand it over.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Atlassian. And hello, everyone. I hope you've been good. There's strange times, but I will try to share part of our lesson learned during the year regarding marketing Atlassian Cloud. I will share my I can share the my screen. Oh yes, okay, I can. One moment. So let's share the screen. And right now I will start to share some slides. Can you hear my slides? Can you see my slides? Sorry.
Yep, all good.
Okay. So let's start very fast. One moment. The agenda will be, I will introduce our marketing team and how COVID-19 changes almost everything, and the Dazer way, the way we are trying to answer to these challenges. From that point of view, This is our marketing team, Hewen, our social media manager, Miguel and Santi, our web designers, blog designers, email designers, and so on. And Daniel, my partner, one of the co-founders of Dacer and head of marketing at this moment at Dacer. We usually employ inbound marketing, but sometimes we use also traditional marketing techniques. Maybe 80% inbound marketing, 20% traditional marketing. And these are the pillars or the foundation of our strategy: buyer personas and buyer journey. Of course, good content, high quality content, metrics, and measure those metrics, and customer experience. These are our main pillars for our strategy. But let's start talking about the year. The year has been very painful for all of us. It's very challenging. And of course, COVID-19 is changing everything, or almost everything. The main changes are about the word remote. Remote work is everywhere. Remote world is everywhere. And finally, remote work is everywhere. All of us are talking about remote and trying to contact remotely with our customers. And with this scenario, there are big challenges too. There are too much buzz from my point of view. A lot of online events, a lot of online information, a lot of data and lead magnets and traditional webinars and traditional events and so on. Also, from our point of view as a Spanish company, the language is a challenge. English, Spanish. Our customer prefer to localize the material, the content, so we have to add more value, more effort to the material, existing material by default. And also Atlassian is accelerating the journey to cloud. I'm not really surprised. If we are going to Summit last 2 years, probably all of us knew the news, but always is a challenge to face to these changes. So what about people this year? What's happening with the people? And I think that this is very important for all of us. People read less and see, listen, and watch much more information. Video, audio, and text are important, the three of them. People don't have time right now, but they will find it later on. I mean, if you are broadcasting some information, don't worry, because people probably will find you later. People is less synchronous and more much asynchronous. People is not connecting with you right now. People is not connecting with you on live, but will connect with you when they need the information. And people now consume on demand. They consume what and when they want it. So we have to be prepared to generate that information. From the point of Dacer, we made it doing it using 4 different ways. First of all, the video podcasts. We created a kind of TV series called A Walk in the Clouds, just like a remembrance of the old movie from Alfonso Arau. And this first season, we will have 4 episodes, and this next week there will be the last one. I will talk about that in just after this slide. Second one, video posts, not only posts, but video posts with Atlassian Cloud and the changes that Atlassian has been announcing. Third one, all style posts coordinated with podcast. First the video podcast, and then the old style post to connect with the information. And finally, press releases about cloud and remote work, creating thought leadership. From this point of view, the first one, the podcast, A Walk in the Clouds, is a kind of TV program, a kind of TV, an old TV program with 4 different sections, with the Atlassian news, and with the guest of the day, one guy from the Atlassian ecosystem, trying to be Spanish speaker because we need this information to be closer to our customers. The topic of the day, talking about the cloud offering, the migration plans, for instance, and questions and answers. And also an instructor, just like a broadcasting program, even with music. Music like this one. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the podcast from Daysel. This is very easy to organize. I'm the person who are creating this information. It's very cheap and it's very fast, and it's very important for the customers. Uh, Very important. Focus on being audible. Less slides or only as a support is important for the people to attend but not to watch. I mean, they have to hear, but they don't have to be focused on the video. We started with 60 people the first chapter, and right now we have 525 people subscribed. And of course, we are preparing the second season coming soon in 2021, of course, next month. So from our point of view, this has been one of the most important element to share and to talk about cloud, to reach the customer more directly, to talk with them, to talk informally, not no slides, direct messages. This is our landing page, and you can subscribe trying to localize in our own language. This is the episode broadcasted last week, and you can see the channels that people can use to hear or to see the video podcast: YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and so on. And announcing the next one next week with Fabian Lopez in order to talk in Spanish about cloud, about Atlassian, about these challenging times. And of course, trying to subscribe, making the process very easy to be done. Only one click, only subscribe to all the chapters. This is an example in YouTube when you can hear one of the episodes and see one of the episodes and see the other ones. Another screenshot with one of my partners, me, myself, and Miguel Alonso talking about cloud. Second one, the video post. Short videos explaining topics, cloud offering, server dates, how Atlassian is dealing with these changes with server, and so on. 6-7 minutes. A kind of speech format in local language to reach our people. Supported with background slides when required, but mainly people talking to the customers. Better a face than words when explaining tricky things. We have to explain that server will not be supported since 2024, so we need a face to explain the reasons. We need a face to be close to my problem, so it's much better than words. This is an example that we are 6-7 minutes, and this you can see on the right the 6-7 videos that we have recorded right now. Third one, all style posts. It's a reminder. It's combined with the video podcast talk in the first place. Overview of the chapter. We used to send the week after, for 7 days after the video podcast, and all the people subscribed receive the post and links. Not the people watching on live. All the people subscribed because they will consume the material just when they can or just when they want. This is the post in Spanish, and inside the post, a call to action to see or to watch or to hear the video podcast, but explaining before the content of the video podcast. And finally, the press releases, a kind of thought leadership. Atlassian content adapted to Spanish with general topics, cloud, ITSM, not products, to create awareness. We have one person in touch with the digital webs to get the slots and try to negotiate with them. And it's combined with the other specific marketing action. So remember these 4 steps. Okay, this is one example. You can see the URL on the left top. And this is another one with eleconomista.es, one of the most important economic and financial digital magazines here in Spain. One of guys of Daysar talking about that. Sorry for being so speedy, but I think that this is important. First of all, video podcasts. Second, videos posts, 6-7 minutes. Third one, the old post but connected with the video podcast. And finally, thought leadership using the more traditional digital means. And the most important takeaways from my point of view, these ones: be creative, but measure everything. Second one, generate more and more video and audio than text. Much better right now because people don't have time and need information as soon as possible. Third, use several channels and platforms: YouTube, iBooks, Spotify, SoundCloud. Now we are testing Twitch. And think asynchronous. Think that the people will consume when they can, not when you want. Don't be obsessed about how many people is watching right now, but how many people will demand your content in the future. Because right now there will be 30 people, but in the future you will have probably 4 or 300 or 4 or 3,000 people. And this is the way. Thank you very much. And sorry for the speed.
No, that's great. Thank you so much. I have one question for you. So I think it's brilliant what you're doing, especially with your A Walk in the Cloud series and the kind of perspective you're taking that it's the audio that is the most important. So
Yep.
I know that it is live, like people can come and join live, but yeah, that's not your measure of success. So I wonder, with something that can be consumed when you want someone to consume it, so what is your measure of success in that case?
Right now, the subscribers in 3 months we reached 600, and we started with 40. I have just to ask to the team to talk here. Tell me how many people are subscribed right now, and 525, and there will be still another one next week. So probably we will reach 600. So we have 600 people to send information about cloud, about Atlassian every week, every month, or every communication we want to send. So don't be obsessed about having 100 live people speak, hearing your program. It's important the wait and see, and to measure probably in 1 or 2 months how many people are using or are watching your videos or your podcasts and so on. I think that we have to change our mind with respect those metrics.
Agreed. Yeah. And yeah, I love the thinking as well, like posting it on multiple different channels. So Spotify, YouTube, your website, more and more, because we know that different personas, right?
Yep.
Like an IT admin won't go to the same websites as a CTO. So making sure you're hitting all of those.
Even sometimes me myself I listening as a background some podcast while I'm working. So the same for the rest of the people that I am dealing with. So I think that we have to change our mind from that point of view. This is the best news that we can get from this year.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure all of the audience appreciated it as well.
Only one question, Kelly. If you want, I can share the slides. I can send you these slides.
Oh
If
yeah.
you want to share with the rest of the people, of the rest of the attendants,
Sure.
no
Yeah.
problem. I will send you back just after my next meeting. I
Yes.
will send you the slides.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to pass it over now to Judith.
Yeah, hello everyone, and I would like to introduce you to our German partner Kreuzwerke. They were founded in 2010, and they have been already with Atlassian for 8 years, with over 100 employees worldwide. They have their headquarters in Berlin. And Kreuzwerk is a very transparent company. They offer tailor-made technology, advice, coaching, and implementation of solutions. and they're also running really fantastic digital live events. They're experts in cloud, managed applications, ESM, and everything around Atlassian. So Director Daniel Meisen will now show you how they market cloud to their customers.
Yeah, thanks for the kind introduction, Judith. So marketing at Kreuzwerker today basically means we are cloud pilots, as in we will have to help our customers to navigate the cloud landscape of Atlassian and clear up with all the misconceptions and myth. And as Guillermo pointed out, I guess to most of the partners, us including, the writing has been on the wall that Atlassian will be a SaaS company or a SaaS only company in the future. So it didn't really come as a surprise when the journey to cloud was announced. Not having the 2 weeks to prepare was kind of a surprise for everyone, I guess. But thanks to the marketing team at Kreuzwerker, we've been able in the first couple of days to react and have something out by Monday to inform our customers. Can you move to the next slides? Yeah, thanks. So these marketing initiatives mainly are focused today on educating our customers on the Atlassian cloud offerings. And educating means that we're not sitting back and basically demanding change for Atlassian in regards to compliance or something, but basically we help our customers to understand what the current level of compliance is and how to get there and what this means for them. And this is mainly achieved through focused and purpose-built campaigns that we do. So for example, for the Bye Server event that we were executing all over October, November, up until mid-December, we've been basically clearing up on all the recent announcements and how to navigate the Atlassian cloud landscape. This is a combination of mailing campaigns, very, very traditional campaigns. We have a weekly webinar series plus purpose-built events that will then follow up, as Guillermo said, also with lead gen offers. So we have a lot of resources and shareable contents that we will offer for all this asynchronous use or asynchronous access afterwards. We built a lot of purpose-built microsites, such as Cloud Migration Hub. We have success stories and blog posts out there. And these are at least telling from the reach that we currently have the most successful vectors for our customers. And this mainly means German and continental European customers to navigate the Atlassian cloud landscape. And I mean, most of the campaigns that we carry out now is supporting our cloud journey together with Atlassian. If you move to the next slide. So basically, we're a company of roughly 100 person spread across different offices in Munich, Frankfurt, Zurich, Berlin, and Warsaw. And we cannot simply create all the content necessary on our own to be out in the market as soon as possible. And this is why we rely on the very, very great content that Atlassian already shared shortly after the cloud announcement, either through the PMC, next slide please, or through the partner marketing portal. So there is a lot of, may it be product enablement, may it be competitive sales pitches, or may it be all the supporting documentation around cloud migrations, the cloud migration program, and all these kind of resources that in itself are great content, but basically we use them and tailor them specific to what we need to address certain topics. So basically, one of the greatest topics for the majority of our customers is GDPR compliance in regards to any software as a service offering, specifically for Atlassian Cloud nowadays. And this is something where we have been basically supporting documentation more or less ready to include in our slide decks that we can then include in the campaigns. Next slide. So this is some of the examples that I can share with you what we've done over the last 6 to 9 months on the next slide. So as you can see, the most recent campaigns are either supporting campaigns in regards to the journey to cloud. So that there was a joint event of the Atlassian Community Berlin and 2 other partners, Scandio, For example, where we had a event put together in, I don't know, with a lead time of 1 or 2 weeks, and we have been able to attract a little bit of over 100 people that shared with us an evening, discussing all the different aspects of leaving serverland, as the visual indicates, and moving to the cloud together. Then again, we have more or less purpose-built slide decks ready for cloud GDPR compliance. Specifically including the Max Schrems 2 ruling, the invalidation of the privacy shield, and what to look for, and basically have a shareable slide deck that we can give our customers at hand to bring them in a position to do a data protection impact assessment, to basically assess the cloud GDPR compliance for their specific use case by giving them guidance to do so. Another big topic is Agile at scale, and this is why we have a campaign for Agile project management running in parallel, which also heavily relies on Atlassian's cloud offerings at the moment, or incorporates them. We've built our own purpose-built version of what we call Migration Hub, which summarizes the migration process in a bit more detail, especially in regards to application migration readiness, and also certain call to actions to basically help our customers to assess their cloud readiness and give them guidance when needed. Some of the solutions that we build, so for example, social intranets, this is something that we build quite often with customers in the past, mostly on-prem, self-managed, and just to tell our customers that there is a way to do the same thing or nearly same thing with Atlassian's cloud offering. We've also created a social intranet campaign that is specifically tailored to social intranet with Atlassian's cloud offerings. Scale Away was an event that we put together in May, together with AWS and Datadog and Atlassian, where we've basically showcased how to operate Atlassian stacks at scale by focusing on data center offerings, mainly on AWS as a deployment, and showing certain aspects of how to monitor, optimize, and perform, and at the same time introduce governance in all of these larger and more regulated stacks, for example. Next slide. So without further ado, I'll basically would open up for questions. Hope you got quite a good impression of what we do to address our customers. And if there's questions, just pop them in the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. That was really interesting. And I just let Austin take over, and then we do the questions at the end. Thank you.
Sure.
Actually, if it's okay, I'm going to launch the second poll. So Daniel was mentioning that kind of to prepare for the Journey to Cloud announcement, PMC was helpful in providing some assets and content. So just wondering which content do you guys want to see, which is most beneficial for your marketing and sales team as it relates to selling Atlassian Cloud? Sorry, it's quite wordy, this question, but yeah. All right, so I'm currently seeing best practices in cloud migration as the winner, followed with customer success stories. That's great. Yeah, I'm sure the channel marketing team, all of us on the call, will be sharing campaigns roadmaps with all of our partners soon. So you'll get to see what campaigns and assets are coming out in the PMC in our Q3 and Q4. So do look out for that in the coming weeks or months. And I'm going to end this poll now. And yeah, thanks again, Daniel. And we're going to pass it over to Austin now.
Thanks, Kaylin. I now have the pleasure of introducing you to one of the partners I work with out of the beautiful British Columbia, Canada. which is Highway 3 Solutions. Highway 3 Solutions has been developing enterprise software for over 20 years. They have clients that include federal and provincial government organizations, as well as Fortune 500 companies. Having been longstanding users and advocates of Atlassian products, Highway 3 decided to become a solution partner and has now become a silver solution partner, and they are currently on track to become a gold partner in January 2021. And I'd like to introduce you to Karen Fishwick, who is the longtime owner of Highway 3, as well as Jeff Audette, who is a senior consultant with about 25 years of experience. So thank you, Karen and Jeff, for being on the webinar today with us. I'll jump over to the next slide and turn the time over to you.
Great, thanks, Austin. So as Austin mentioned, we've been in business for 20 years, but we haven't used a B2B marketing approach. So traditionally, we've used relationship and sort of a pull model for getting business. So our story today comes from the perspective of a brand new Atlassian partner, only 1 year into our journey. So traditionally, we've relied on word of mouth and reputation based on good outcomes, repeat customers and loyalty. We have some specialized skills that are in demand in the enterprise market in software development and data management and data access management solutions. And we've typically relied on pull requests via posted RFPs. And our teams are typically in our traditional business on large multi-year enterprise projects. So we didn't really have a need to have a really good B2B marketing game. So once we officially gained our Atlassian partner status, we knew we needed to add active marketing as we were entering a much bigger market and a more open market. And so as you can see from the journey here on the slide, we're working hard to build up our game. But just wanted to note, Karen and I are not marketers in our backgrounds. So Karen manages amazing development teams, and I'm a project manager and agile coach. So we're drinking from the fire hose, trying to learn as much as we can. And we're very, very grateful to Austin, Joanne, our channel manager, and the whole Atlassian marketing team. And these webinar series have been very, very helpful to us. As you see, many of the themes on this roadmap are from office hours and then delving into more detail on the marketing. So on our plan here, I think we are definitely on track. Our plan was to make Gold Partner 1 year in, and we're about exactly there. And we're very excited for the next year, now that we're not complete rookies anymore. So our plan is to hire a marketing and sales team, and exciting to meet the next year's challenge and keep moving and keep learning and moving forward as we implement our strategy. And next slide, Austin. Yeah, so our cloud live webinar strategy is one of the things that we took on before and sort of during the big announcement by Atlassian. So we knew that cloud migration fit right into our wheelhouse, and we knew that would be complementary to our skills in the business. So we were focusing on that in our first couple of webinars. So we used the 4-stage buyer's journey that we learned earlier in the year from office hours to set up our strategy for the webinars. So the first one we had was pre-awareness, and we were mainly originally targeting the provincial government. So we sit our businesses in the seat, and we're a real government town. And there's probably about 40 or 50 instances in the provincial government that we are trying to raise awareness for. So we did that one. We came back. We did some retrospectives, and we improved our process. So our latest one was in November. We moved that into awareness. We used some techniques like we offered have lunch on us, where the first 20 people to sign up got a $15 gift voucher for some of the food delivery services around North America. And we're just trying to move people through that 4-stage journey. So the next session that we're planning is in January of 2021. We're bringing on some marketing staff, and we're just going to keep moving down that road, and really like this process, this 4-step process for the webinars. So with that, I will hand it over to my colleague Karen for the next slides.
Sure. So hi, thanks, Jeff. So I'm Karen. I'll talk a little bit about our website and social marketing platforms. So as mentioned, due to the nature of our business, we really haven't relied on a website. We've sort of had a landing page for 18 years. So we launched our first real website last summer. We're very excited, a lot of Atlassian content. So building up the foundational original content takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So with the PMC downloadable and customizable content was really helping to fill the gaps in our website. We did try to integrate some microsites originally. They were really easy to deploy and they were great, looked really good, but they didn't really integrate so well with our highly styled core website. So we'll definitely use those going forward, but probably more as landing pages for email campaigns. So next slide. So one of the original content ideas that we had was a blog series on migrating cloud migrations of add-ons. So given the technical background of our company, this seemed like a good fit for homegrown long form articles. Our clients are heavily reliant on Atlassian marketplace apps. And so with the focus on cloud migrations, we wanted to make sure we had a very good technical understanding of how plugins migrated in order to help them with their journey to the cloud. So for social media, our company, again, does not historically use any social platforms. We're very new to this space. The pipeline of PMC posts and the ability to schedule their release enabled us to launch the platforms much sooner than we would have. So the categorization was really helpful also. So we had really relevant posts for our company expertise like DevOps, public sector, and Agile. So we haven't done a lot with it yet, but we do plan to use the customizations within the post feed to make the personalized content for our customers. So that's it for Highway 3. Thanks very much. I just want to reiterate what Jeff said. Really grateful to all the expertise that Atlassian has provided us.
Thank you, Karen and Jeff. We really appreciate sharing what you've been working on for the last several months, and it's been really exciting to see your successes and the quick growth in kind of ramping up marketing from 0 to 100.
Yeah, amazing work. I'm very impressed with all of this. I'm going to launch the third poll right now. I know there were some questions, so we'll also start digging into those. So this poll is about satisfaction with our PMC cloud campaigns. Yeah, we recently launched the Cloud Content Hub, which is kind of a consolidated space where you can find everything related to cloud migration. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I would absolutely recommend it. And I know there were some questions for Daniel, perhaps in the chat, if someone could bring those ones up, just as I give this poll another few seconds. Awesome. Yeah, so Daniel, I know you were asked, I'm not sure it was kind of broadcast to everyone else on this session. So which marketing channels do you use to blast your marketing content?
Yeah, so I wrote it in the chat already. Basically, we are relying on LinkedIn and direct mail campaigns for the majority of the content that we blast out. There's microsites that we might promote in different channels. We've been playing around with Reddit a little for very technical campaigns. And then the usual Twitter, if it's more on the social side of things, it might even include Instagram. And then we're also very active in user groups of all forms, not only the Atlassian communities, but also industry-specific user groups that always help just amplifying the message, basically. And then funneling them all mostly on microsites, where we will then either share any downloadable content, such as white papers, or we might even share recordings of the videos of webinars for people who couldn't attend and these kind of things. They are also accessible mostly via YouTube and partially Vimeo.
Great. And I also want to just kind of commend you for taking on GDPR. I know it's kind of a sticky subject and especially sensitive to partners in EMEA. What kind of motivated you and Kreuzwerker to kind of take that head on, and how have you found it? What are the challenges you have found?
So we've basically took that on back in February last year, shortly after Atlassian, or shortly before Atlassian Cloud Enterprise was announced officially. And we partnered up with another German partner, Scandio in Munich, and our data privacy lawyer to just assess, and that was the original idea, just assess the cloud and GDPR readiness of the Atlassian cloud products to have something that we could give our customers at hand. And with the invalidation of Privacy Shield following in June, this gained a momentum we couldn't expect in February. And for us, it was always very important for German and European customers in particular to be able to actually sell cloud. And one of the key questions that is just part of every sales journey is compliance, and not only for customers in highly regulated environments such as finance or medical, or to a degree even automotive. Having something that is GDPR compliant at the bare minimum is a requirement prior to signing a deal for the most of our customers. And then not having everyone finding that information by themselves. I mean, Atlassian shares DPAs that are very thought through, and that there's most of the relevant content linked from there already. But still, just having something at hand that we could distribute to customers was very important for our sales and even marketing personnel.
Great. I actually have a follow-up question. I know, Daniel, that you covered this in your presentation already, but GDPR is obviously such a big conversation starter when it comes to the Atlassian cloud strategy. So Ellen was actually asking one question around how they can help customers analyze the content of Confluence and Jira in these often old and large on-prem instances. If you have any tools, tips and tricks that you can share around this, because obviously one of the main consideration when it comes to migration to cloud is around GDPR and storage of personal information. So if you can maybe talk about that a little bit, because I know you did the social intranet and the cloud migration hub already in your website, and the Scale Away event. So
there's basically two sides of the medal. One is having a service provider such as Atlassian providing let's say the general baseline of an operatable software as a service offering that can be assumed GDPR compliant, and this goes hand in hand with what you put in it, because part of the equation and GDPR assessment is always what you're doing with the tools. If it's customer service for, let's say, software sales, it's different than doing or than having a service desk where you might get screenshots from medical devices, even containing patient data, for example. And part of the assessment always is use cases, the categories of data, and we basically have a formalize what we call Datenschutzfolgeabschätzung in German, which is basically a data protection impact assessment form that we will fill out together with the customer to get a better understanding of what the use case actually is. And then there's definitely certain tooling in regards to identifying PIIs, like personal identifiable information, in the instances themselves prior to planning or dry running a migration towards the cloud. And this might, depending on the, let's say, implementation level of GDPR at the customer side. I mean, all of them have to be GDPR compliant on their own by May 2018 already. And let's say they are to varying degrees. So some of them already have tooling in their Jira and Confluence instances to anonymize or pseudonymize content. Some don't, and this is basically where we start looking together with what they actually have in their instances and what they're allowed to have prior to migrating it.
That's great. I'm sure all the partners in the call will find this really, really helpful. Thanks, Daniel. Do we have other questions?
I've got a quick question for Daniel. It's Jeff here. So Daniel, what we're running into mostly in Canada with cloud education is we don't have a data center on Canadian soil yet, and I'm not sure. And that seems to be the number one objection. And it's on the roadmap, but we're not sure when that's going to get delivered. I'm just wondering if you had run into that and had an education campaign in the EU, or is it even a factor there? I know many partners in, say, Brazil and Mexico on this side are struggling with it as well.
So it's not a hard technical requirement. So what the Privacy Shield has been allowing was ensuring the same level of data privacy safeguards in countries that you export data to. This basically means that exporting data to third countries is technically fine unless a certain level of data privacy safeguards can be ensured. And even the invalidation of Privacy Shield does not disallow exports. You still have standard contractual clauses, but it's just a bit more complicated for the end user to do this data protection impact assessment, and then in the end basically assume the risk of exporting data to the US. So in general, it's not forbidden to export data in Jira Confluence Cloud to the US. It depends on your individual use case if that is a risk you as a company want to take. And this is basically one part of the educational campaign, and in the end, it would just be an easier sale if you could say, you know what, we don't even have to look at exports to third countries because there is a local data center, either now or coming soon. And we already had customers that basically were saying, yeah, I mean, we still would have the option to go to enterprise, or we know there is a European data center coming soon. That is a risk we take, and then we'll reassess in a year. But in the end, it boils down, at least for European customer, to an individual assessment. And I know that the laws or legal boundaries in other countries such as Canada are at least comparable.
Yeah, thanks.
I do have another question. Daniel, I think you're being put in the spotlight. So another question is, what do you mean by shareable deck or slide deck? Does the customer get a copy of it, or do you just share it with your consultants and salespeople?
So we do have internal enablement. So basically, prior to the Atlassian Enterprise Cloud announcement in March at Summit, we built an internal what we call Cloud Center of Excellence, which is basically colleagues from various parts of the company: marketing, license sales, technical consultancies, agile consultants, that form, let's say, our internal council of cloud sufficient or let's say cloud pioneers, so to say. And they all also produce content internally, but this is purely for sales enablement, so to say. What I mean with shareable content is really having either microsites or post-show emails where we link to the content. And that basically means that they will either get a slide deck that is adjusted to be reviewed later. So for example, without any animations or videos, so for example, or they will be sent recordings. So what we have is we had a weekly call for the cloud GDPR and bye-bye server enablement for our customers. And for those who couldn't make the time, we just shared that via emails afterwards. And that's basically following what Guillermo said. So the production cost should not factor in the 40 or 50 attendees that you get in the first iteration of running it live. But you can also rely on all those customers who you can easily answer their questions by following up and sending that content later on.
Great, thanks for answering the question, Daniel. Let me see if there are more questions coming in. Yes, actually. Ding, ding, ding. So Fabrice from NSI was asking, how do you make the discussion with customer for data managed by third parties extensions that are not in Europe at all in some cases? How do customers agree on that? Do you review in your procedure data managed by all extensions plus Atlassian products?
So this is basically something where we also educate our customers on that there is Forge coming, and Forge will be great for all these kind of custom built add-ons, but it will definitely take time, months to years, for add-on vendors to migrate over to a platform provided by Atlassian, ensuring the same safeguards and level of security and privacy as the core products. Right now, technically, you would have to run an individual assessment on every add-on vendor to what degree they are processing data for a customer. So that's definitely a thing. We've built, and that is part of our migration hub, for example. So we've built a list of add-ons that process data outside. Some of them are just, let's say, convenience functionality where no data is exported or processed by the add-on vendor itself. So not all add-ons actually need a thorough assessment, but certain add-ons do. And technically you need individual data processing addendums with each add-on vendor. And this is something where we can just profit from the number of migrations that we did, and let's say our partnership status with certain add-on vendors, where we are just in close touch with them to help our customers getting these DBAs signed with the add-on vendors itself. But it's definitely something where you need to raise awareness for, and that should be part of your initial cloud, what we call cloud migration readiness. So basically, you need to look at the either by using the tooling that Atlassian provides, the cloud migration assistance for Jira and Confluence. Help the customer select those add-ons they want to use in cloud, and then help them by finding out where they need DPAs and where not.
All right, I have another question. It's something interesting because it's around the Uber Eats initiatives. And this is something that we actually did advise partners to do as a creative way of kind of getting engagement with their audience. So this question is directed to Jeff and Karen. So Fabiana said, nice job. For the relationship initiatives, such as Uber Eats, did you get the personal address, and how did you run those initiatives during pandemic?
So if I understand the question, we sent coupons. So we went and bought the coupons online. So we gave them a choice of, I think, 4 or 5 vendors, and you had to be in the US or Canada. So we only used their email address that we got from the Zoom webinar. So that's the only information we got. They signed up. We asked them, which their preference was. We bought the voucher and we emailed it to them. It's very, very easy. And then when they get the voucher, they just click on it. It goes into an order immediately, and they can order and use the voucher. Did that answer the question, Christia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great relationship building initiative. So I'm glad that you guys took that up. Before we break, by the way, if there are any more questions, do pop them in the Q&A at the bottom. But I'm just going to launch the last poll. Just let us know how you felt about this office hours session. But if there are no other questions, just a huge, huge thank you to our partners for joining this call. Canada and Germany and Spain. I love seeing all the different partners sharing all their different experiences. So I'm sure it was much appreciated. Yeah, I'll give this poll another 10 seconds or so. And then we hope to see you all in Office Hours 2021. There is going to be a session at the very end of January, so look out for some emails to register soon. Otherwise, are there any other questions coming in, guys?
It looks like the question around Atlassian DPA has also been covered by Daniel in the previous question. So
cool. Well, this is very informative, and thanks again to everyone. And yeah, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good end of 2020. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.